Am I sharing screen?
Yes.
Okay. I'll just share now.
Good morning, everyone. We will get started in a few minutes. And students, any questions you have about post-secondary pathways, you can put in the chat of your Zoom meeting with your teacher, and then your teacher will put it in the YouTube comments so we can see them. We got 1 more minute before we're gonna start. All right, it's 10:05. Good morning, Richmond High Oilers. Welcome to our second live College and Career Center homeroom presentation. Today's topic is going to be post-secondary pathways. So we're going to do our best in the next 20 minutes to get through as many of them as we can. You can go. So this is our agenda and the different pathways we are going to cover today. So we'll introduce who's in the room with you. And then we'll go over the military, trade schools and unions, community college, four-year universities, and then the college and career center programs and which programs kind of specialize or help with each pathway. Okay, so once again, Miss Jan, college and career counselor. And then Alejandro's not in the room, but Alejandro is the EBC program and the counseling intern.
Good morning, everyone. Angelica Arriaga with College is Real.
Hey everyone, I'm Miss Edith with EAOP DCAC.
Hey everybody, I'm Sergio and I'm with PAC.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Jennifer and I'm with Mills College Upward Bound program.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Miguel and I am with the Richmond Promise.
Hello, everyone. My name is Ana Isabel Perez, and I am with the Richmond Promise.
All right, so we're going to start off with military. If you are interested in the military, this is for you. Okay, so the requirements to join the military is you have to be a U.S. citizen or permanent resident, meaning you have a green card. You have to have your high school diploma. Then you have to take the ASVAB, and the ASVAB is their test, and it's really important because The score on your ASVAB is going to determine what job you can do when you enlist, right? The higher the score you get, the better the job you have. If you get a low score, you're going to be responsible for, like, if you're in the Navy, cleaning the deck of the ship in the bathrooms, right? If you're thinking you want to do special ops, Navy SEALs, Army Rangers, you need to get as high a score as possible. And then you have to pass the medical exam. And it's suggested that you at least pass through Algebra 2 to help you on the ASVAB exam, because there is math on that test. Why do people, or what's good reasons to go in the military? The GI Bill will help you pay for college. You'll get a steady income while you're enlisted. Depending on your job you want and your recruiter, you might be able to choose your location, whether you stay here stateside in the US or go international. And it's a structured routine schedule, right? You have to wake up at a certain time, you go to work. It's very structured, okay? The cost is time. You have to do a commitment. So it could be a 2-year commitment or a 4-year commitment if you go straight from high school. If you do the GI Bill or they pay for your college, then the commitment can be anywhere from 4 to 8 years. So that's something to keep in mind. And then the branches of the military are Army, Marine Corps, Air Force, newly created Space Force, Coast Guard, and Navy. And if you didn't know, Mr. De Leon was in the Navy before he went into education. Okay, next we're going to go over trade schools or vocational schools, or also the union pathway. Okay, so for trade schools, you need your high school diploma or what's called the GED, which is the test. Different schools have different tests you're going to have to take, and the trade unions, if you want to be apprentice, also have an exam you have to take. You can go to a specialty, what we call vocational school, or a lot of similar programs are at community college for a lot less money. Okay, so why would you want to go to a trade school? In this day and age, a lot of jobs need some kind of what we call post-secondary training. It could be a college degree, it could be a certification or a certificate, but it's training so you can have a skilled job so you don't have to work a minimum wage job. And advancements opportunities. So once you get in the door through the trade, you can get promoted, higher income, better work hours. The costs vary. The cheapest option is community college, right? And there's a lot more financial aid available for community college. And then some schools like FIDM or UTI can be as much as like $30,000 a year for the exact same training you would get at a community college. Make sure your school is accredited, meaning your financial aid is available, and they don't want you to take out $25,000 worth of loans. And then examples are FIDM. Laney College has a lot of good programs like cosmetology, welding, electricians, culinary. And then the Kaiser School of Allied Health Sciences, and then the auto program and culinary at CCC is also available. And if you want to go into the trade unions, Diablo Valley College in Concord has a pre-apprenticeship program where they have you take a few classes and help you with your application to join the trade unions, become an apprenticeship directly. And then they have a partnership at DVC with the Carpenters Union to get you in there. Now I'm going to pass it off to Jenny, who's going to do community college.
Good morning, welcome everyone. I'll be speaking about the community colleges. So the requirements for community colleges are a GED or a high school diploma, and you have to be 18 or older. Why choose community college? Well, the transfer pathways, there are transfer pathways to UC, CSU, and HBCUs. They offer career and tech training. You can receive an associate's degree from there, and 70% of the nation's nurses earn degrees from community colleges. So they offer a wide variety of opportunities. The cost varies. Average cost is $1,600 a year, and California high school graduates receive 2 free years of community college tuition. So that's a great incentive. And There's 114 campuses in California. There's campuses in there's Contra Costa College, Berkeley City College, DVC, and a number of others here in the Bay Area. So we're kind of fortunate to be able to have options in our area for community colleges. And Alejandro is is a community college alum, so you can put a face to someone who went to community college and shared that experience.
So next we're going to talk about four-year universities and the different pathways you can go within that. And we're going to start with Sergio talking about the CSUs.
Good morning, everybody. So I'm going to be talking about the California State University system. So in terms of requirements, pretty much it's going to be taking the 15 A through G courses, passing them with a C- or above. Their GPA requirement for this year will be around 2.5. Along with other supplemental information due to the fact that because of the coronavirus, the tests that you would normally take, the SAT and ACT, were canceled. And some campuses are more competitive than others. I'll talk a little bit more about that during the examples. Why CSUs? They're the most affordable four-year option. They cost less than like a UC or a private school. They're very career focused, and a little known fact is that the CSUs produce 60% of teachers and 40% of engineers here in California. In terms of cost, it ranges between $18,000 and $32,000, but those numbers are a little bit kind of like, I guess, scary wise, just because like there's different ways how you can lower down the cost of going to UCs with like different housing options or food plans if you're living on campus. And there's a lot of CSU grants available, and once you fill out your FAFSA application, you'll be able to get a lot more opportunities to pay for your education. As well, they have a program called EOP, which is the Educational Opportunity Program, which is a very good program for those of you who need a little bit more help trying to guide yourself through the university. Like after you get there, working to make sure you finish your degree within the 4 years. There's 23 campuses here in California. They range anywhere from the top of California at CSU Humboldt, all the way down to Southern California at CSU San Diego. And the two most popular ones who are local here in the Bay Area are San Francisco State and CSU East Bay. And here's some alumni if you guys like a little bit more personal information about the CSU system.
All right, you guys. So now I'm going to talk about the UC system. So what are the requirements to apply to the University of California? You need 15 A through G courses passed with a C- or above. You are encouraged to have at least a 3.0 GPA, but that varies based on which UC campus you may be applying to. Application involves PIQs. They're going to be looking at your activities and awards. So they want to know a little bit more beyond your like transcript and your test scores. They are very selective, right? So you want to make sure that you are a selective candidate. And if you aren't, what can you be doing to make sure that you are more selective? So why UC? They're mostly research institutions. They're larger. They have a larger college experience. They have a lot of different activities. They provide a lot of different resources to students. Most of the college and career center staff went to a UC, and you can receive in-state tuition. So although UCs may vary a little bit more with the cost, right, about $36,000 a year, they do have a lot of financial resources to offer to students, including things like the Blue and Gold Opportunity Plan, the Middle Class Scholarship, institutional scholarships, Regions, which is often a full ride tuition scholarship. Students can use FAFSA and a few other things to really make up that gap, including the Richmond Promise Scholarship. So although they may be a little bit more expensive, they offer better financial aid packages a lot of the time. So something to consider as you're applying to schools or thinking about where you want to apply. And some of the examples, there's 9 UC campuses, right? The closest to us being UC Berkeley, the furthest one being UC San Diego. And again, we mentioned most of the Career Center staff have gone off to UC. So if you have any particular questions about these UCs, feel free to reach out to us.
Yeah, so next we're going to talk about private universities. As far as requirements, the requirements do vary for these. The application process is also a little different because you do use the Common App, the Coalition app, or other applications. And then they usually do require essays, which is similar to your PIQs, letters of recommendation, and also activities and awards. And what really makes private universities different is a lot of them offer really small class sizes, so the teachers could get to know you and you get to know the people in your classes as well. And since they are usually private, they have access to a lot of resources, specifically financial resources, and they also offer a lot of competitive scholarships and aid. And then as far as costs, again, costs do vary. They can be more expensive than public schools, but you still can use the same resources to fund it, like FAFSA, CATA, Richmond Promise, all of that. And they do offer a lot of merit scholarships, which is like based on your GPA. And they usually have a lot of aid available for low income students as well. And in California, there are 70 private colleges, including some local ones, including like University of San Francisco, Dominican, Santa Clara, Stanford, which Gabriella went to from High School Musical. So as far as alumni, I went to Pepperdine, and Tanzania here went to Lewis and Clark College, which are both private universities. For out of states, very similar to privates, their requirements vary and they have various different application portals that you could use. And usually you do need essays, letters of recommendation, activities and awards, and all of that. And reasons to go to an out-of-state school is you get to explore a new area, meet new people, gain independence, and possibly explore different programs that might not be offered in schools here. As far as cost, again, costs vary, but you could use the same avenues to fund it, like FAFSA, CATA, Richmond Promise, and there also is the WUI, or Western Undergraduate Exchange, which is about 16 states in the Western region of the United States are a part of this, and I think 160 plus schools are also a part of this. And basically you won't have to pay the full out-of-state tuition, and it'll only be up to 150% of the tuition versus like 300% if you weren't going a part of the WUI. And some examples are at Arizona State, Colorado, University of Hawaii, and so much more. And Hazel went to University of Hawaii, and Tanzania went to Lewis and Clark, which are both out of state. And our last system is HBCUs. Again, requirements vary, similar to out of state and private. There are different application portals that you can go to, same essays, letters of recs, all of that. And HBCUs are super special because more than 50% of the nation's Black teachers and 70% of the nation's Black dentists earn degrees at HBCUs. And they have so much mentorship and career guidance for its students, along with increased retention rate for Black students and an increased sense of community. And it is important to note that all students can apply to HBCUs regardless of your race or ethnicity. As far as cost, you can use the same things to pay for them, and they also have merit-based scholarships. Some examples are like Charles R. Drew University of Medicine and Science, that's the one here in California, Howard, Xavier, Morehouse, and Spelman. And some CNC alum, Mr. Hatcher, went to Morehouse, and also our new Vice President, Kamala Harris, went to Howard. And with that, we would like to emphasize that no pathway is better than another. We're all on our own paths and want specific careers that are best for us. So try not to compare them with one another.
And the best thing is to keep your options open, right? So set your on campus in the College and Career Center, and our partners, you can go for help with each pathway. So military, I have information, and then Mr. De Leon and Mrs. Sieber, as veterans, they have information if you want to know about their experience. Trade Schools Union, PACT, Richmond Promise, and myself. Community College, EBC, so that's Alejandro, EAOP with Miss Edith, PACT with Sergio, and Richmond Promise. And then 4 years, all of us basically can help with the 4-year pathway. And with that, I think we answered a lot of the questions that were in the chat. Also, if you have questions, you can always email us and then or send us a message in Instagram. And thank you for joining us today. We'll see you next month for the next installment of Homeroom Live. Bye. Have a good day.